Okay. A very good afternoon to all of you. I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome to this sociology workshop. We'll be conducting this workshop for next 3 days. And what exactly are we going to do in these first, second, and the third days? I will discuss that a little bit later. But before we begin, we will look at some news highlights, some thoughts to think about. After these highlights are being discussed, I will start the discussion on the subject of sociology. 20 years back, when you were as a kid, you were innocent, some of you were stupid, but today's kids are not as innocent as how you were 2 decades back. If you remember, your parents will tell you, if somebody outside is offering you a chocolate or a biscuit, don't have it. Because if you eat that chocolate or a biscuit, they will kidnap you, they will take your kidneys, they'll make you beggar or whatnot. But when I look today's kids, they are very smart, they are intellectual. You cannot fool a 5-year-old kid with a 10 rupees of chocolate. They know what is happening around. They will smile at you, they will take the chocolate, they will keep it in their pocket, and then say, I'll go home and I will eat it. What is the difference? What happened in these 20 years? That you were so innocent, but today's kids are very smart. At one point of time, they are smart, but at some other point of time, these kids only are acting very stupidly. I want to talk to you about a news highlight or an online game called as Blue Whale Challenge. Some of you might have heard it, some of you might not have heard it. It is a game which was introduced nearly 8-9 years back. It was banned on iOS, it was banned on Google Play, but some or the other way the kids were able to access. This game is about challenges, facing your fears. The game will tell you that today, if you have a fear of watching horror movies, you should get up 3 o'clock in the night and you're supposed to watch a horror movie. If you have a fear of blood, scratch yourself till you see blood. These are the different kinds of challenges. And the last stage of this game is go, jump from a building, commit a suicide. The same kids who are so smart that they don't know to take a chocolate, but these same kids are going and playing these kind of stupid games. Why? What is the difference? Nearly in Russia, more than 150 teenagers who are 10 to 15 years, they have committed suicide. In America, more than 120 kids all over the world. Till date, more than 500 kids have committed suicide by playing an online game. On the other hand, if we talk about money, at one end, we are fighting for a job. We are struggling to get a job which can pay us 20,000 rupees. But on the other hand, people are generating wealth on internet. I'm talking about a wealth that has been generated by using computing technology, cryptocurrencies. If you talk about cryptocurrencies, are they powerful? Yes. They are one of the fastest growing currencies in the world. And if you see how much amount of money is there with cryptocurrency, you would be shocked to know that the GDP of complete Africa is equal to the money that is stored in cryptocurrencies. If India has got a GDP of $3.5 trillion, if Africa totality they have got a GDP of $3 trillion, the money that is there in cryptocurrency is about $2.5 trillion. And who started this cryptocurrency? It started from Bitcoin, and who created it? Till now, we don't know. Who was this Japanese guy? It's an invisible person who created this money. But $2.5 trillion is protected in the name of cryptocurrency. At one end, 20 years old kids, they have become millionaires by investing in cryptocurrencies. On the other hand, the income inequality is so large that you see the condition of Africa. On the other hand, people have become millionaires in the age of their 20s. On the other hand, if I take an Indian example, 2024 was the election year. BJP, when they came in 2019, they promised to establish the Ram Mandir. They were able to bring it in the constituency of Ayodhya. It was one of the biggest events of 2024 to establish the Ram Mandir. BJP won the election, almost they won the election. But what really happened, the people of Faizabad, the people who were there in Ayodhya, they rejected BJP. What could be the reason behind it? Ayodhya was at the center stage, not just in the Indian scenario, but all over the world. People were seeing Ayodhya like Vatican City for Christianity, Mecca for Muslims, Arab world. They were seeing Ayodhya in the case of cultural nationalism. But the people rejected the BJP over there. I just want you to think why the society behaves in different ways. At one point of time, people are madly in love, they want to get married, but the same love marriages turns into divorce. Why this happens? As the modernity keeps on increasing, the divorce rates are also increasing. Children are getting smarter and smarter with time, but how come they are playing stupid suicidal games? People are fighting for 20,000 rupees of job. How come some kids are becoming millionaires because of cryptocurrencies? People have liked BJP, but why did they reject BJP in the case of Ayodhya? The society is one of the complex subjects to understand. What society is all about. A very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Dr. Farhan Nasir. I am an alumni of Delhi University. I take my classes in Delhi, Bangalore, and in Hyderabad. In my last 9 to 10 years of experiences, I have an ability to work with thousands of aspirants. Many of them have successfully become IAS officers, IPS officers. Here, I want to bring my experiences to you. I want to simplify an interesting subject called as sociology. What is sociology is all about? In today's session, I will be dividing my lecture into 3 parts. I don't want you to think a lot. I want you to just sit, relax, have a cup of tea, enjoy this lecture. But most importantly, I will be discussing to you about the syllabus of sociology. What exactly are we going to cover within this optional subject? What is meant by the word sociology? To address this lecture, I will be dividing into 3 parts. Why should you take this subject? How are you going to cover this subject? How many books do you need to read this? And what exactly is sociology all about? What is the syllabus? What is paper 1? What is paper 2? What is fundamentals of sociology, basic sociology? What is paper 2, which is Indian sociology? Okay. Before we begin, I will discuss the why and the how in the last part. First, I will start with what is sociology. Yes, anybody in the class, what is sociology? It's a study of society. Very smart. Logy is there in the end. No, logy means study. So it's a study of, okay, good. Anything else? It's a half-baked definition. It's not a full definition. What is sociology? It's a study of society. Okay, what is society? Anybody? Just raise your hand and tell me what is society. Yes, sir. Acha, sorry, he was doing like this, so I thought he is raising. No problem. But still you can try. Sorry? Okay, society means where we live in our surroundings. Fine. What else? A group of people. Okay. So, an RTC bus is also like a group of people. Can you say it's like a society? A train is also like a group of people. Nothing to be laughed about. That's right, actually. I'm completing the sentence. A group of people is not society. A train, a metro, or a bus is also a group of people. There is a chai which is being sold over here. That is also a group of people. Something else needs to be added after that group of people. Yes. Knowing about human beings. Okay. Knowing about. See, I will discuss this. This is a very important part. You need to distinguish. Sociology is not knowing about human beings. A subject which is dedicated to study human beings is psychology. A study which a subject which is focused to study an individual is psychology. A subject which is focused to study group or unity of individuals is sociology. So that's half right. Good. Anything else? Very good, very good. Mixture of cultures, perspectives, thoughts, all that can be a part of society. Anybody else? Meaningful communications. Very good. If I bring all these definitions together, it will be the right explanation of what society is. But before we talk about the definition, the technical aspect, let me start by asking some examples or some questions. You represent your own society. What is your daily schedule? When do you get up early in the morning? When do you get up? 7 o'clock. Okay. When do you get up, ma'am? What's up? 6 o'clock. When do you get up? I heard somebody 4 o'clock. Who is that person? Who is getting at 4 o'clock? Okay. You get up at morning 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. If you're a serious aspirant about UPSC, I expect you to get up by before sunrise, somewhere like 5:30, 6 o'clock. You get up at 6 o'clock. And then what is the first thing that you do after getting up? No, not too much in detail. Okay, not too much in detail. What do you do first thing? Yes, after you freshen up yourself, you will have a very long, tiring day. So you want to start by doing some sort of an exercise. Some people will go on a walk. Some people will do some stretching, etc. So you start your day with some yoga. If you are good at doing it, you will look like this. Not like this, but closer to like this. Starting yoga days, you will be like this. So you will do some stretching. It's a cultural aspect. People will do yoga, they will do some jogging or running, and after that, you come. Okay, stop looking at that beer. Don't think about it. I've just put it. The next thing what you do is, you dedicate yourself for some family time. I see a lot of aspirants, they don't stay with their families. And the first thing that they do is, in the initial days, you will get a call from your mother. They'll ask you, how are you doing? Same 2-3 questions she will keep on asking every day. When did you get up? What did you do? All the best. You're going for the class. Eat well, study well, go to sleep on time. These are the things that she will say. So a part of you is also dedicated for your family time as well. Once you are done with that family time which is being spent, you go to an educational place where you try to gather some knowledge. You will have very nice faculties who will take some good lectures, etc. So a part of you is also dedicated towards education. Within that educational places, a part of you is also being dedicated as friends. In colleges, in institutions, you will start making some good friends. All of us need friends. Without friends, society cannot exist. You need some companions. You need some colleagues. You need some acquaintance, whatever you call that as. Now, here, the word society means it's a cluster or a union of people and some institutions which are present within it. For example, the first thing that you were doing in the morning, you have dedicated yourself The first thing that you have done in the morning, you have dedicated yourself towards a cultural practice of yoga. Some people are calling that as an exercise, some people call that as a tradition, culture, or whatever. You have dedicated yourself towards a part of a culture and a religion. Some people will do morning prayer, some people do some asanas, some people will do some yoga. A part of you has been dedicated towards culture and religion. And what is this bubble trying to represent? It represents an institutional framework. The same person, after finishing this, they have become a part of another institution. You have dedicated yourself as a family. Now the role that you are playing over here, you have shifted your role and you will start playing another role. What was the role that you were playing over here? You were playing the role of a devotee. You have dedicated yourself to God. You were acting like a bhakt. You were playing a role of a devotee or some part of the cultural norms you are going to play. And then there is a whole different role that you play. And when you are dedicated to this system, you will play the role of a son or you will play the role of a daughter. What is this family? It is an institution. It's a bubble which is there. And any other institution which is there? Yes, there is a system called as education. And what role are you playing over here? Here you are playing the role of a student, and for me, I am also associated with this education system. I have got some norms, rules and regulation. I will be playing the role of a teacher. Beyond this bubble, I will not play the role of a teacher. You look at me outside, I'm either a traveler, I'm a father, I'm a husband, son, or whatever you call that as. I am playing a set of rules according to this. Any other roles which are there, which gives you a form of an identity, you are also associated to economic system. Does economic system give you an identity? Yes. Either you will be called as a buyer or you will be called as a seller. Economic system has got its own sets of institutions. The same thing comes even for the political system. It gives you an identity which is called to be as the citizens. The technology, the social media is also a whole set of different institutions. How you behave in actuality, how you behave in practicality, that's not how you behave in technology. What identity technology gives you? If economy is giving you an identity of a buyer or a seller, if family is giving you an identity of a son, daughter, father, whatever, what identity technology gives you? What are you called when you are in the technology frame of reference? You are called as a user. That is what they say, no? What is your user ID? That's the identification. ID has that been given to you. So what society is all about? Society is a cluster of multiple different institutions. These are systems. You are the only one person. And what is your society? It's a cluster of these institutions where you are playing or associating yourself with religion, you're associating yourself with family, you're associating with education, technology, political, economy. And when we bring all of this together, what does it create? It's your society. And this is nothing but your syllabus of sociology subject. What do you study in this optional sociology? You study these bubbles. You focus on what these one institution is all about. At one point of time, you will be focused on economy. That will become like a unit 6. You study on political. That will become the unit 7 of your syllabus. You study technology. That will become unit 10. You study what is education, that's a part of your unit 5. Family, it will become a part of your unit 8, 9. So right in front of you, there is a simplified version of what the syllabus is going to be all about. And before I discuss what is the syllabus in detail, let me divide you how the UPSC wants to teach you sociology. The whole subject is going to be for about 500 marks. Optional subject plays the most important role. More than 1/3 of your preparation is all about optional studies. On a daily basis, if you study for 6 hours, more than 2 hours you have to give to your optional subject, whatever optional that you are going to take. And directly 500 marks will be asked, which is divided into paper 1 and paper 2. 250, 250. And what is paper 1 all about? Paper 1 is about basic sociology. It's general sociology, and it has been labeled as fundamental sociology. It means the subject has been designed in such a way that it talks about the basics, the fundamental aspects. UPSC knows that the people who are going to study this subject are not coming from sociology background. So it will discuss the elementary part, ABCDs, fundamentals. The name of the subject is fundamental sociology. The paper 2 is nothing but an Indian version of that. In paper 1, we will be talking about global perspective, European sociology, Western sociology, American sociology, etc. The paper 2 is completely like an Indian version to it. Same way how geography is divided. If you look at the GS geography, a part of it is called as physical geography. What is physical? It's a global geography, different landforms, landscapes, etc. And in that, there is an Indian geography. It is peculiar, specific to only Indian scenario. Same way, paper 1 and paper 2 has been divided. And what is the syllabus in paper 1? There are units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In the syllabus, they have just given you unit 1 to 10. But I don't want you to look at unit 1 to 10. I want you to divide them into 3 parts. Unit 1, 2, 3 has got one kind of theme representations. Unit 4 and 5 is represented in a different way. Unit 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 has got their own understanding. So in these 3 ways, I want you to divide it. The paper 2 is already divided into 3 sections. Section A, Section B, and Section C. What is the Section A all about? It is about introduction to Indian society. For the first time you are studying sociology, we'll be talking about that. The Section B, it talks about the social structure of India. How do you see India from a very zoomed out perspective? How is Indian society divided? So it talks about something called as social structure. When you look at a building outside, which is under construction, you look at the infrastructure of a building. How many floors are there in a building? Whether they have a basement or they don't have a basement. What is the area? What is the width, length of a building, etc. When you look at a building, you look at the infrastructure. The same way to understand the society, what is the infrastructure of a society? It is the social structure. If you want to understand India, you need to divide it. Rural, urban, tribal. On the basis of religion, on the basis of money. So we'll be talking about social structure, and this structure is not static, but rather it is, what is the opposite of static? It is dynamic, it is transforming, it is changing. So Section C, it talks about what is this dynamic structure all about? What are the social changes which are happening in the society? So here, the paper 1 and the paper 2 has been divided. I want you to look at it in this way. 1 to 3, it is going to be speaking about theoretical part of sociology. It will be talking about some history, the unit 4 and the unit 5. I am going to begin my classes with the most important unit, and that is the unit 4. If you have gone through the syllabus, if you have watched some videos on YouTube, what is the most important part of your sociology syllabus? Thinkers. You have kept on hearing this word, thinkers, thinkers in sociology. Don't give too much of importance to it. First, you understand what is thinkers, and then you will be able to, okay, this is what thinkers is all about. So it begins, so I will be starting. The most important part in the whole unit 1 is the unit 4. If I'm dedicating 2.5 months for the paper 1, I'm going to dedicate more than 1 month for paper 4, unit 4 only. Because if you understand thinkers, the paper 1 will become like a cakewalk. It's going to become very smooth to you. So it's the most important part. It is the most complex part. It is also the most interesting part. And the reason why I have picked up, there are 2 reasons why I'm going to start with unit 4. First reason, what is the first reason why I'm going to start with unit 4? No, I like it. That is why I'm going to start. No. First reason is I like to teach unit 4. That is why I'm going to start. I should have my autonomy. And the second reason is that is how the subject is supposed to be dealt. It starts by contributors. Whenever you are dealing with a subject, you should know who are the important contributors to that subject. And in paper 2, it starts from Indian thinkers only. So when the UPSC wants you to understand Indian sociology, it starts. The section A is all about Indian thinkers. Ghanshyam Shah Gure, M.N. Srinivas, Akshay Ramanlal Desai, etc. So I will be talking in detail. So today, let us try to discuss what is the whole syllabus in detail. If you do not have a syllabus, kindly open your phone. In that, just take a look at what I will be discussing the syllabus today. Okay, so what have we dealt till now? First of all, I have shown you some random news highlights, some things to ponder upon why society behaves in a different way. Children are smart, but why are they acting stupidly? Money is so hard to earn, how come some of them are earning so easily? A political mandate has been created, but that political mandate has worked like a paradox. I have given some examples, and then I have told I will be dividing my lecture into 3 parts. Why to take sociology, how to deal with this subject. My first part that I am dealing with is what is sociology. Before I discuss this subject, I have given you a little bit of background that what society is all about. Society is a cluster of multiple institutions. What is an institution? It's a form of a norm that has been created. Everywhere there is a norm that has been created. If you're sitting in this classroom, there is a norm that you're following. Norm does not mean compulsory you have to do that. But over the course of time, you have learned how to be a student. Maybe you want to keep your leg in front of the table. You will not do that. Maybe you want to spit somewhere. You are not going to do that. Why? There is a norm how you have to behave. Outside you will do all those stuff. So every norm is associated to institutions. If I bring these institutions, it will become the society. And the syllabus is divided. Let's take a look at what is the first unit that we have. Yes, I remember. 1 minute. Whenever you are dealing with a new subject, what do you learn first? From where does it starts? Rules and regulations. Okay, something before that will come. Whenever you're trying to deal with something new, what is the first basics? Okay. We are not going to talk about basics of sociology here, no. what is that first thing that you deal with? If you are trying to deal with a new subject called as economy, it starts by telling that economy is not a new subject. Economy is an ancient subject. During the times of Nandas, economy was there. There was a book called as Artha Shastra. Kautilya, isn't it? The one who has Chanakya, Kautilya, whatever you call him. There was a book. So whenever you're dealing with a new subject such as economy, it always starts with history. You should know a little bit of historical background, and then that history will follow, and then they will introduce to you present times. Same way, polity will also start like that. The first unit that you have in Lakshmikant is what? What is the first unit? Historical background, isn't it? They will not start by what is constitution in 1950. That is not where the subject begins. It says constitution has been established in a form of a process. There were some charters, acts that were there in 1890s, 1909, 1919, 1935. Historical background will be created to you first. The same way, sociology will also begin by talking about some history. I will keep this in bracket because that is not there in your syllabus, written like that. But it all begins that the subject of sociology is it a new subject or an old subject? Is it an old subject or a new subject? This subject is one of the youngest social science. Among all the arts, social sciences, the newest subject that is there is sociology. The history of sociology at the global level, it is only 140, 150 years old. Indian sociology began 70 years after independent sociology got started. 10, 20 years back, the father of Indian sociology died, G.S. Gure. So the unit 1, it is all about history, that what were the things that were happening in Europe, due to which the sociology was emerged. So the unit 1, it has got 3 parts, and it begins by modernity of Europe. Today you are seeing modernity like a continuous phenomena, but Europe was a very traditional place 500 years back. If you take a look at the European society, you will see a lot of churches. Catholic churches, cathedral churches, different branches are there. Europe was a traditional, excuse me. Europe was a traditional place 500 years back. But something happened 500 years back. That continuous changes started to come up in European society. It all began from where? Renaissance. You have heard this word a lot of time. Renaissance, rebirth of the European society, etc. Have you seen the painting of Mona Lisa? Yes, famous painting of Mona Lisa. The paintings of Michelangelo. There is a, whenever you see that love symbol, no, heart will be there and small angel will put that arrow on that heart. These are the sculptings of Michelangelo. It started 500 years back. And from that time, which is called as the Enlightenment period. Enlightenment period means something is switched on now. And the Europe starts going under some transformation from 15th century, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. These 400, 500 years, continuous changes happens in Europe. Political revolution, economic revolution, commercial revolution, scientific revolution, French Revolution, freedom struggles, concept of democracy, free will, blah, 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 different things have. So all this in 19th century was seen as a whole new Europe. And they wanted to study why these changes have come. So the first unit, and that the part A, it begins modernity and the social changes in the European society, which led to the emergence of sociology. So this was something that was happening in 19th century. And then whenever something new comes, will the people welcome it or will the people go against it? Something is new is coming in the society. Will the people welcome it or will they go against it? Yes? Daughter-in-law comes for the first time. Till the ceremony, Anant Ambani brought Radhika merchant. First 1 week is the wedding part. After that, daughter-in-law came. Mother will become mother-in-law once the daughter-in-law comes, isn't it? Whenever something new comes in the society, there will always be rejection to it. AI is going to come. Will the people talk about pro-AI or anti-AI? We'll talk about anti-AI mostly. AI will take your jobs, robotics will take your job, poverty will come, dependency will come, inequality is going to come. So whenever something new comes, always there will be some resistance to it. So when the sociology was coming, other arts subjects started to show some resistance to it. So the second part, it speaks about what is the purpose, why did sociology come, and it also talks about its comparison to the other social sciences. We will be making a comparison of sociology with economics, history, political science. What is the difference between sociology, psychology, sociology, anthropology? All these areas will be dealt. So scope of the subject and comparison with the other social sciences. And when you look at this subject, it looks like nothing great is there in this subject. It's very common. Whatever we are talking, you are putting that in writing. What two people will sit and talk, you are putting those things like theories. Whatever two common people are talking, it is being put as a perspective. So there is one more criticism that sociology is sometimes taken as common sense. So part of it will say, yes, it is a common sense. We are also obviously going to say how it is not a common sense. So the unit 1, it is nothing but sociology as a discipline. The word discipline here means an academic discipline. The definition of sociology is not study of society. The definition of sociology is it's a scientific understanding of society. I'm going to talk a little bit later what is the word scientific understanding means. We are not just going to study the society, it's a scientific way of studying the society. So whenever you're making a scientific attempt, it will be called as a discipline. The discipline here represents academic discipline. So that is the unit 1, what we are having. And then when the subject begins its journey, now we need to write some books. Theoretical part will be produced. So the unit 2 is all about theoretical understanding. I'm just showing you what these units are. So the unit 2 is about theoretical representation of sociology. And in the initial days, when the subject was introduced, it is not how it is seen today. Today, where do you see this subject? In science universities or do you see in arts universities? Arts. Sociology will be there in GNU. It will be there in Delhi University, Jamia University, IGNU University, Indira Gandhi University. So today, sociology is seen like arts. But 150 years back, when it was began, it was not an art subject. It was a science subject. Slowly, it moved towards arts. So the first part in the unit 2, it's trying to establish sociology as science. What is meant by science? What is meant by scientific methods and how we can criticize it? The second part, the most important part in the whole, all the theories that you have in this subject, it is called to be as the theoretical strands of sociology. All the theories. I am going to deal with this unit not in the starting. This unit will be dealt at 3rd month. Because I am going to start from which unit? 4th. So the syllabus will go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then again 1 and the 2. So the last classes of your unit 1, you will have this part. I am going to take all the theories together and I will put that in a mind map, like a graph, and then I will be showing you what is the part B. The most important part. All the theories that you will study, I'll put this in this unit. And those people who are telling sociology is science, that approach is called to be as positivism. Positivism doesn't mean to be a positive person. Positivism doesn't mean to be optimistic. Positivism is an approach that all the people in the starting 100 years back, 150 years back, who were telling sociology is like science, that approach is called as positivism. And those people who were telling it is not a science subject, they will be called to be as non-positivist. So these group of people who are telling it is positive, they want to focus on facts. Those people who are telling it is not a science subject, they are focusing upon values. Both of them are trying to achieve objectivity. This comma is not there in the syllabus. You look at it with comma: facts, values, and objectivity. So the unit 2, it is a theory of this subject. It is called as sociology as science. In bracket, you put it like this: sociology as science or arts. You should read the heading of every unit like a sentence. If you understand the headings, the lower part will become more clear to you. So the unit 2, it's all about the theory part, and the unit 3 is all about practical part. If anything you deal with books, you need to bring that into application. If something you have dealt like a theory, you need to put that in practicality. So the third unit, it is all about research, method, and analysis. So there are two main popular methods of doing a research. One method is called to be as quantitative method. Another method is called as qualitative method. So quantitative methods, what does this word mean? Qualitative methods, quantitative, what exactly are these terms all about? If you want to do a research, what am I looking for? If I want to conduct a research, what am I looking for? I am looking for data. If I want to have an idea whether are you able to understand this class or not, I will tell you, raise your hand if you have understood the class. Some of you will raise your hand. All the people who have not raised their hand, I will think they are sleeping. Isn't it? So there are different techniques. I can call you and I can get that data. I can tell you, take a piece of paper, put something on that, put up some explanation, give me that piece of paper. There are different methods of collecting the data. So what are the techniques to collect the data in a research? There are a number of methods. Surveys are there, analysis are there, internet is there. So the second part, it speaks about techniques of data collection. And then there are some important concepts that you must be familiar. In my opinion, the C part should be first. But we will go according to the syllabus only. They are talking about some important concepts. What are some definitions that you should know to conduct a research? It means you should know what is meant by the word variable. Before you conduct a research, you should have some understanding where your research is going to go. It is called to be as hypothesis. When you conduct a research, you will only conduct on some group of people. It will be called to be as sampling. There is something called as reliability, validity, etc. So we'll be talking about some concepts. So unit 3 is going to have a practicality. If you are a sociologist, how will you conduct the research, methods and analysis, quantitatives, methods of data collections, and some important concepts. These are some definitions that you should be familiar with. So the unit 1, 2, 3, they all come under one segment. The first unit is about the history, what happened in the European society, which led to the emergence of this subject called sociology. The second unit is all about the theoretical aspect, what sociology is all about. The unit 3 is all about practicality of this subject. But the most important part, what we are having, is the thinkers. We'll discuss this diagram in 2 minutes. It's easy to understand. Can you tell me what is thinkers? What is thinkers? Why do we keep on telling thinkers, thinkers? Tell me what do you understand by this word thinkers? Different views. Very good. What else? Simple. Contribution of their ideas into the subject. Very nice. What more simple can it be? Anything else? Critical analysis of okay, some analysis, some critical, more the critical analysis, just analysis of a situation or something like that. Anything else? What is thinkers all about? Different ways. Anybody else from here? What is the meaning of the word thinker? What comes in your mind whenever you listen the word thinkers? Yes, sir, anything? Anything that comes in your mind with that word thinkers? Are you thinking something with the word thinker? Yes, what is it? Yes, different ideas it can be. Repeat yourself. Acknowledging thoughts. Okay, what? Okay. If you're dealing with a subject called as physics, you will listen to a story that there was a person who was sitting under a tree. He was sleeping. Some stone should have fallen, but you were unlucky, an apple fell down, isn't it? And from there, trust me, nonsense begins, which has changed today's world. I hate physics. You cannot skip the contributions of Isaac Newton and his laws in the subject of physics. The physics is incomplete if you don't study the laws what Isaac Newton has contributed. Your physics will be incomplete if you have not studied the theory of relativity given by, who gave the theory of relativity? Einstein. He got Nobel Prize for that. Your physics will be incomplete if you are not going to study the contribution of Stephen Hawking. Your biology will be incomplete if you have not studied the contribution of Alexander Fleming, penicillin, antibiotics, etc. Every subject will have some contributors. Every subject in the field of science will have somebody who is called as a scientist. In the field of science, you tell the word scientist. In the field of arts, you tell the word as philosophers. If you are studying political science, can you tell me some philosophers who contributed to political science? In ancient times, it was Socrates. His teacher was Plato. His student was Plato. Plato's student was Aristotle. And then in the medieval times, multiple other political philosophers came. Any name? Hobbes, J.S. Mills, Rousseau, John Locke, multiple other. Same way, how some people contributed to the field of political science. These J.S. Mill, John Locke, Hobbes, Rousseau, all these are nothing but the thinkers of political science. Same way, the word thinkers means they are the contributors to the subject of sociology. They are the scientists to the field of sociology. They are the philosophers in the field of sociology. We use the word called as thinkers. I want you to treat them like synonyms. If they are talking something, they will not talk in a haphazard manner. They are not going to talk in an irrational manner. They will talk on the basis of rationality. So they have got a scientific attitude. These people have become the foundation of the subject. So they are called as the contributors. They have put their ideas. So they are the philosopher. We use the word called as thinkers. Now, imagine there are 7 blind men. They don't know the color of the sea. They don't know how the sky looks. And all these 7 men have been left around an elephant. One person will come and he will hold the trunk of an elephant and he will start feeling it. One person will hold the tail of an elephant and he will start feeling that tail. One person holds the tusk of an elephant. Somebody is feeling the body of an elephant. Somebody is touching the poo-poo of an elephant. I don't know what. And all of them have been asked, how do you think an elephant is? Do you think everybody will give the same answer or will they give a different answers? Is anybody wrong over there? All the 7 blind men who are trying to describe an elephant, are they wrong? No. Whatever they have felt it, they are describing it. And all of them, are they giving a totality picture? Is their explanation enough for us? The answer is no. All of them should be brought together, then only you can understand what an elephant is. Is it elephant really a hard animal, or is it really like a hairy animal, or is it like a spongy animal? So this picture explains, everybody is trying to explain the society in their own unique manner. All of them are right, and that is what Thinkers is all about. We will be dealing with 5 thinkers. The 6th thinker, he is not a sociologist. Basically, he is a child psychologist. So he has been dealt in a very small manner. Basically, you have got 5 thinkers to deal. And among these thinkers, the first person, he is considered as the philosopher of the 2nd millennium. Till now, whether you are a student of arts or not, you have heard the word Karl Marx. A very popular person associated with Russia, associated with communism, socialism. We will talk about in detail. So I am not going to talk very much in detail what Karl Marx says, but he is trying to explain what the society is. For him, the most important thing in the society is the blue, money. He doesn't divide the society on the basis of race, religion, caste. No. For him, there is only one thing it is important, that is money. Either you're a rich person or either you're a poor person. Only 2 divisions are there according to Karl Marx. So his perspective, he wants to give one theory, and that theory is only one. The UPSC divides those theory into 4 different parts. How he begins the theory, it is called to be as historical materialism. He explains like a story. What problem is there in the society? That he explains something called as mode of production. In this mode of production, the problem is there is some suffering, and that suffering is called to be as alienation. And how he can solve this problem? It is called as conflict, class struggle. So one thinker, some parts are there. All this is one theory only. For our understanding, we are divided into 4 parts. Same way, there is another thinker called as Emile Durkheim. He speaks about different aspects. What is meant by social fact? What do you mean by division of labor? What is religion? Among all the part, the most important part we are having is the theory of society. So there are 4 different areas that Emile Durkheim will be dealt. Most popular theory of Emile Durkheim. Why is he famous? If Karl Marx is famous for the theory of communism, Durkheim is famous for his theory of suicide. Another thinker that we are going to deal is Max Weber. He is popular for his theory of bureaucracy. Today, if you're sitting in this class, you want to become a bureaucrat. Everybody wants to become a bureaucrat, that is why. And what is the full name of this bureaucracy? Do you know that? It is called as Weberian's bureaucracy. All over the world, the full name of bureaucracy is called as Weberian's bureaucracy. And he is the first person who explains why did bureaucracy emerge. It emerged out of rationalism and logic. Bureaucracy doesn't mean government. Bureaucracy means something is broken down into bits and pieces. You're sitting in this institute. It's a bureaucratic institute. Means this institute has been divided into departments. One department is marketing, one department is finance, one is administration, one is teachers department, one is students portal, apps, etc. So this concept of bureaucracy is explained by Weber, and then there is a person called as Talcott Parsons. He discussed about two important, not an easy sociologist. First English sociologist. First American sociologist. If you're able to study sociology in English language, it is because of Talcott Parsons. He says the whole society is interconnected, and he discovers a concept called as social systems, pattern variables. We'll talk about Talcott Parsons, and then his student becomes famous by criticizing his teacher. Talcott Parsons dominates in America for 35 to 40 years. The moment he is criticized by his student, Robert Kingsley Merton, he becomes very famous. So R.K. Merton is contributing something. His famous theory is conformity and deviance. And then last, George Herbert Mead. He is not a sociologist, he is a child psychologist. He gives a small theory. It is important to understand in sociology what is a child development. So, every person, third class, I will be discussing thinkers in detail, what exactly one thinker is all about. But for now, understand thinker means these are contributing to the subject. They are the foundation of the subject. You cannot understand sociology until you understand these important. Everybody is trying to explain the same society. All of them are right in their own way, but their explanation is not everything. Their explanation needs to be broken down, and here we have got some contributors who are Marx, Durkheim, Weber, Parsons, Merton, and Mead. So the unit 4 is about thinkers. Once this explanation is done, I love this actor. Okay. Once we understand the thinker's perspective, now it is the time for you to think from your own perspective. Why unit 4 and unit 5 are combined? Once you understand the unit 4, now it is asked to you, how do you see the society? Is the society all uniform? Is it all same? No, it is not same. We all are divided. And how are we divided? We are divided on multiple different parameters. We are divided on the basis of how much money are we having in the society. Everybody has got different forms of money in their pockets. And a society, if they are divided on the basis of money, class. Here class doesn't represent school classes. The class says how much money you have in your pocket. Then you're also divided on the basis of caste, religion, etc. Such kind of divisions are called as status. We are also divided on the basis of gender. How many genders do we have? Who said 2? Gone. Long back. History, that is. How many genders are there? 2 plus. I went into an essay blog. They have explained me 72 genders. Man feels like a woman. Women feels like almost men. Men not a complete man. Women not a complete women. Yes, LGBTQ. No. That is also history. LGBTQ is not over. More are added now. What is after Q? I. A. Intersex, asexual, and after that they'll put the word plus. LGBTQIA plus. You open your eyes, tomorrow you get one more alphabet will be added and again they'll put plus. 72 genders are there. So if somebody is asking you how many genders are there, don't give your school answer. You have to update yourself. 2 plus genders. Third gender is 70 genders are there in third genders. So dimensions to understand the society are multiple forms of gender, and then the society is also divided in the form of race, ethnicity. So the unit 5 is about how the society has been divided. Stratification. The society is divided in these dimensions. To understand this unit, there are some important concepts. What do you mean by stratification? What is meant by equality, inequality, hierarchy, poverty, social exclusion? So there are some important concepts that we are going to discuss: equality, inequality, social exclusions, poverty, deprivation, hierarchy, etc. So here we will be discussing about some concepts, we'll be discussing about some dimensions, and this society is not static, it is dynamic, it is keep on changing. At some point of time, you will be belonging to a lower class. You work hard, you get a good job, you are going to go in an upper class. So this society is dynamic and it is transforming. So this kind of a movement is called to be as mobility. So the unit name is stratification, and mobility means movement. So in a society, if the movement is easily possible, it is called to be as open society. Example of an open society? What is meant by open societies? Can you give me an example of an open society? Yes. Where do you see people are easily moved from one segment to another segments? An example of an open society is metropolitans, Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore. Such societies are called as open societies. You will see people will go from poor to rich. They'll show you their hard work stories. Every rich man will tell you some story that he was a very poor guy. Isn't it? Every rich man will tell you some story. So they have moved towards Mumbai. They have moved to these metropolitans and they have achieved some mobility. Such societies are called as open societies. Opposite to that is called as closed societies. An example of a closed society where movement is not encouraged or it is not easily possible. Rural societies, or a more better example is a tribal society. They will not encourage if you leave their culture. They will not encourage if you migrate towards the city. Caste system is an example of a closed societies. No matter whether you like to be a Brahmin or you don't like, you have to act like a Brahmin. So caste-based societies, rural societies, tribal societies, feudal societies are all closed. So here mobilities are there. And then in that an important part is different forms of theories of stratification. It means the thinkers, what we have studied, they will be explained. So there will be a theories who explains what this stratification is all about. There is something called as Marxist theory, Weberian theory, and something called as functional theory. Functional theory means Durkheim. Durkheim's other name, he is a functionalist. I will talk later in the class what is the meaning of word functionalism. So the syllabus says Marxist theories, Weberian theories, Durkheim's theories. So the unit 5, it speaks about stratification and mobility. So here in the syllabus, we are somewhere over here in unit 5. We are talking about what the syllabus is all about. Today's class, the first day, is about nothing but, this is the topic what we have given to it. It is called to be as simplified syllabus. Unit 1, 2, 3, it talks about one idea. Unit 4 and 5 talks about thinkers and some other perspectives. What is stratifications, how we are divided. And unit 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it is going to talk about something else. We will take a short break for 5 minutes and then we'll talk about what unit 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is all about, and then we'll talk about paper 2. We'll take a break for 4-5 minutes. Okay. What do we have in the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? This is what we are having. We'll take a look at each bubble. The bubble represents one type of institution and how does that institution runs. Among these, the first one, what we are having is the unit 6. The 6th unit, it represents the work and economic life. If we say that sociology has a strong overlap on the GS subject, it is because of these upcoming units. Some area of economic preparation will really help you to understand what unit 6 is all about. Your Lakshmikant's preparation will significantly help you to understand the unit 7. So what unit 6 is about? The economic system has been kept on changing in different time periods. How was the social life? How was the economic social life? So one that is divided into ancient, medieval, modern. That is how you study history, isn't it? If you want to study history, these are the 3 divisions that you come up with: ancient, medieval, and the modern. Same way in sociology, to understand the economic life, we divide it. The ancient will be called to be as the slave society. The medieval period will be called to be as the feudal society. And the modern will be called, either it will be called to be as an industrialist society or it will be called as a capitalist society. So what is the economic life in different time periods? And then on this economy, the government has started to get a good control. 300, 400 years back, the government did not have a very good control. As the modernity keeps on coming, as the time keeps on coming, the government starts to have a very good control on the economy. Poor countries will have a poor control on the economy. Developed countries will have a very strong control on the economy. And if the control is good, it will be called to be as organized sector, or it will be called to be as a formal society. And the government does not have, it will be called to be as unorganized, or it will be called to be as informal. This is the main difference. If the government has got a good control on the economy, formal. Poor control, informal. Formal and informal economic lives. And then what is the condition of labor? How do they remain in the society? So unit 6, it's a short unit. It has got 3 divisions, 3 different time periods: good control, bad control, labor and society. And the 7th unit is about polity and society. This is another bubble I have told. In the economic bubble, your identity was like a buyer or a seller. In the another set of institution, if you talk about polity, your identity is like a civilian. Your identity is like a citizen. And how do we understand what is the building block of political system? It says you must first of all understand what are the theories of power. The political system is established on a building unit. Like for example, the building unit of an organism is what? Cell. The building unit of an organism is cell. The cluster of cells will become tissues, organ system, etc. Same way, the building block of political system, it starts with power. You give somebody else your power. They will take on decisions on your behalf. That is polity all about. So to understand what is power, there are different theories that we are going to discuss. And in this political system, there are some important instruments which defines the political system, such as what is meant by elite, what is meant by pressure groups, what is meant by civil society, what is meant by bureaucracy. Civil society should come in the B part, but in the syllabus it is there in the C part. So what are the instruments? What is meant by power elite? What is pressure groups? What is civil society? What is meant by bureaucracy? And then there are important concepts to understand, such as what is the difference between nation and state. Can anybody tell me the difference between a nation and a state? Polity topic. This is not sociology topic. Polity topic. What is the difference between nation and state? Yes? State is included. State is bounded by fence. Different community, different province. See, here the state doesn't represent Telangana, Andhra, Maharashtra. No. I'm not talking about states of India. Whole India is called as one state. This is like a country, what I'm telling. The concept of state is a political concept. The concept of nation is not political concept. It's a psychological concept. It's a we feeling. That feeling that you get, right, when you listen to national anthem. The feeling that you get when you watch a patriotic movie. All these are nationalism. Nation is a psychological concept. It's not an objective phenomenon. It's a feeling. Nation can exist even without boundaries. It's only a feeling which is there. For example, the Punjabis of India, the Punjabis of Pakistan, they want to have a not all of them, but some of them. There is a movement called as Khalistan movement. Can you show Khalistan on map? Can you show Khalistan on map? No, you cannot show. But Khalistan is like a feeling what the Punjabis of India and Pakistan are having. That feeling is called as nationalism. This phenomena started from French Revolution. So there are some important concepts such as what is nation, what is state. The concept, the people who are staying in those states is citizenship. The countries are established on the basis of ideology. What is the concept of democracy? We are mostly trying to understand democracy. Some instruments, nation, state, citizen, ideology, democracy, civil society. This is what polity is all about. And how this democracy is changing? It is changing on the basis of some collective actions. Collective actions means when the society will come together, they will take different forms of actions. If they are coming together, in a legal way, it will be called to be as a protest. If they are coming together in a violent way, it will be called to be as agitation. If the protest further grows, it will be called as social movement. If the agitation further grows, it will become revolution. All of them are connected. So all these are collective action. In your syllabus, it will be just like protest, agitation, collective action, social movements, and revolutions. But all four are collective actions. They are interconnected to one another. So the unit 7 is about polity and society. The unit 8 is about religion and society. And here also it starts by telling some theories of religion. It's a very interesting topic. I love the topic of religion. How different religions have started to begin. From where does the Vedic religion emerge? How Vedic religion is interconnected to the Greek religion. How Greek religion is interconnected to the Egyptian civilization. So different time periods, different religions were there. And then comes the next period of religions, Abrahamic religion. It starts with Judaism, Israel. And then Judaism takes a turn and enters into Christianity. Christianity takes a turn, it takes forms into Islam. And from Islam, different forms of other. So what is the theories of religion? And here, there are some religious practices which are there. Earliest form of religions, such as animism. How is it different from monoism? What is pluralism? What are sects? What are cults? We have some topics. These are called as religious practices. And how religion is seen in the modern society. Today, how do you see religion? Is religion against science or with science? Mostly, how do you see religion? Religion is against science or with science? Obviously, if I'm asking a question, it cannot be only just yes or no, both the things will be there. Most of the time we see religion is against science. If religion comes, science goes away. If science comes, religion goes away. But they both are not just in conflict, but they can also coexist. They are also complementary to each other. How religion, if it comes in a soft manner, it is called as religious revivalism. If the religion comes in a harsh manner, it is called as fundamentalism. If the religion goes away, it is called as secularism. So different aspects of religion in modern society will be taking a look. What is religion and science? Fading, weakening of religion is called as secularism. Strong form of religion coming is called as fundamentalism. Threats, soft form of religion is coming, it is called as revivalism. So the topic of religion and the three parts what we are having. The fourth part is the aspect of family. This word is not there. In the syllabus, the word family will not be there. In fact, a more broad term that is being used, it is called as kinship. Kinship and society. I will be dealing with this unit 9, clubbing with unit paper 2. So I will not be only dealing Western family systems. I want to deal with Western and Indian family system. So I'll be talking about this unit 9 with paper 2. Indian families, joint families, Western families, nuclear families. So what is meant by household? What is meant by division of labor, patriarchy, sexual division, etc. So I'll be talking about unit 9 with paper 2. And then the last unit that we are having is social changes in modern society. It is basically talking about technology. So to understand social changes, first we will be talking about theories of social changes. And the second part is, today the maximum amount of changes is coming in the form of globalization. If you see, last 20-30 years have been very transformative. Look at your school days, look at the technology that is there. Today, take a look at today's school days, how the technology is there. Globalization plays a very important factor. Some sociologists have supported globalization, some sociologists have criticized globalization. Those who support it, their contributions are called to be as developmental theories, and those who criticize it, their contributions are called to be as world system theories. In the syllabus we use the word dependency theories, but the proper word for that is world system theories. So what is development and dependency? Development, pro-globalization. Dependency, anti-globalization. That is how it is seen. And then how the changes or the factors which are bringing the social change. So we call that as agents of social change. How social change is coming in society? What are the things which changes the society? Education. Anything else? Technology. Anything more? Do you think social media is changing us? Yes. And it influences us, it changes it. Do you think urbanization is changing us? Yes. Multiple factors are there. We will write some 20 factors, how different changes are being brought. All these 20 factors are called as agents of social change. Among these 20 factors, 2 factors are overly focused. And that is how changes is brought by education and social change, science and technology and social change. So the 10th unit is all about social changes which are happening. To understand, first we look at some theories part. Then we talk about important factor is globalization, pro, cons, pro, anti, some factors or agents of social change. Among these agents, education and science and tech is playing an important role. So here, see, paper 1, which is called as Fundamentals of Sociology, can be divided into 1, 2, 3. This is one part. It deals with the foundation of the subject, theories and the practical part. The unit 4 and the 5, it talks about perspectives. Some scientific perspective, some of your own perspective. And unit 6 to 10, it deals with the institutions or the bubbles, what we are having. And then comes the paper 2, which is divided into 3 sections, A, B, and C. What is there in paper 2? This paper in paper 1, I don't think anywhere we have got an Indian person who is contributing to it. Because the subject emerges from the European society, so it is mostly about Europe. Some part of America will come and go, but it is mostly a European society because that is where the modernity came for the first time. And what did we label that modernity as? Renaissance, Enlightenment period, 15th century, where the modernity emerged, they only produced sociology. The modernity started to come in 20th century in India, so Indian sociology begins in 20th century, 70, 75 years back. And it begins, who started this? It begins from the first section that we have called is Introduction to Indian Society. And here we have got 3 thinkers. In paper 1, how many thinkers were there? 6 thinkers were there. In paper 2, you have got 3 Indian thinkers. And these thinkers are like counterpart to the paper 1 thinkers. If we have got one person at the global level, same thing will be taken by another person at the Indian level. Like if there is a Karl Marx in paper 1, the first thinker, there is a person who is called as an Indian Karl Marx. It doesn't do anything great. I see it like that. Nothing really great. Whatever the Karl Marx was telling at the global level, they will put the same lens, they will say it in an Indian manner. And that person is called to be as A.R. Desai. If we have got a Talcott Parson in paper 1, there is an Indian Talcott Parson. Most important thinker among 3 is M.N. Srinivas. The father of sociology. Who is the father of sociology? Father of, not Indian sociology, the father of sociology. Informally, you can say fathers or founding fathers of sociology is Emile Durkheim, but the person who started sociology is Auguste Comte. We will talk about this person. His contribution is not that great, but he started this discipline called as sociology. He only tells for the first time that sociology should be like a science subject. I have told you, in starting sociology was like a science subject. Later on it became arts. So Auguste Comte is called as father of sociology. And the father of Indian sociology is Govind Sadashiv Ghure, G.S. Ghure. So he is trying to understand India from books. That is why his view is called as Indological perspective. We also say the word Indology. Talcott Parson is trying to understand with something called as structural functionalism. I will explain these words later on. Just this is how the syllabus is written. Ghure is an Indologist. Srinivas is structural functionalist. A.R. Desai is a Indian Marxist, Indian economic Marxist view. This is the way how section A has been put. So the first part in the section A is introduction to the Indian society and the extension. This is the first part. The second part is called to be as the recent history. Okay, I'll write it here. If you take the history of India, you can go thousands years of year back. But we are talking about the recent history, means how Indian society has been there in the last 100, 150 years. Today, if you're talking about this concept, India, Indian, nationalism, how old is this concept? This concept of India, Indian. Neeraj Chopra is going to throw a javelin for India. Somebody wins a bronze medal for India. India wins cricket T20 trophy. This concept of India, how old is this? Post-independence. Britishers have brought this concept of India. It's a colonial product. Not more than 150 years old. The concept of nationalism has been there. All over the world, the concept of nationalism is 200 years old. Napoleon Bonaparte from French Revolution started this concept of nationalism 50, 60 years later. In end of 19th century, in starting of 20th century, the concept of nationalism begins. So here, the first topic in the section 2, it speaks about the background of Indian nationalism. From where does the concept of Indian nationalism begins? It's an interesting topic. One of my favorite topics in paper 2. And then there is something called as modernization of Indian tradition. It means Indian traditions are there, but they are going towards modernity. In a traditional way, modernity is coming. Can you give me an example? Okay. Any modern example? Raja Ram Mohan Rai is a 200-year-old person. Any modern example of how modernization of Indian tradition is coming? 33%. So what is modernity and Indian tradition in that? Both the elements should be there. I want a more simple concept. Matrimonies. Good. Anything else? Have you ordered a dosa outside? Which dosa do you eat? Ram ki bandi, have you seen? Ram ki bandi. Don't take out your tongue. Keep it inside. Ram ki. What is this? Ram ki bandi. What do you order over there? Ram bhaiya, one cheese dosa. Ram ki bandi is a famous dosa wala over here in Hyderabad. He makes cheese dosas. What is this concept? If you look at a traditional dosa, some flat chapati like thing they make, on that they put aloo. But in the name of modernity, what are they putting? Ram ki bandi is putting cheese on that. He's putting pasta on that. He's putting Maggi on that. The foundation is Indian tradition only. But do you see some modernity over there? You see the women outside, they are putting a kurti. Below that, they are not wearing an Indian dress. They put a jeans over there. Jeans with kurti. There is a jeans, on that they are putting some jodhpuris. Indian tradition is there, but there is a blend with modernity. Globalization is entering, but localization is also there. Such phenomena where globalization is mixed with nationalism. Globalization is mixed with localization. It is called as glocalization. I'll talk about these topics. What is glocalization? So modernization of Indian tradition is also an important topic. There is a separate book written by Yogendra Singh. I will be speaking about, this is also an important topic, and then we'll be talking about protest, movements, and social reforms. Protest movements and social reforms will also be dealt in an elaborated manner, not in part A, in section C as well. I'll talk about this little later. So the part A is introduction to the Indian society. The section B, social structure of India. Like how I told you what is meant by social structure. If you look at a building and you look at the number of floors, the building is under construction. Number of floors are there. What is the length of a building? What is the width of a building? What is the height of each floors? Is there a basement or not? The infrastructure of a building explains what is the infrastructure of Indian society. It is nothing but the social structure. These can be divided into different forms. India can be geographically divided into 3 different segments. Those group of people who are staying in Delhi. Those group of people who are staying in the villages. Those group of people who are staying in the forest. So one way to understand the structure of people are those people who are called to be as urban people, rural people, and tribal people. These 3 are nothing but 3 parts of your syllabus. The people who are there, where is the maximum population? Where is the maximum population of India? No. In urban, rural, and tribal, where is the maximum population? Rural. 70% of people of India are there in the villages of India. Recently, in the last 10 years, it became from 70 to 66. 2/3 of the people in India are staying in the villages. I know you're looking at the traffic outside and you're telling mostly people are there in the urban. No. Only 30% of India's population. We are the world's most popular country, no? Something very good what grandfather did is increasing the population. Yes, Lord, so much time was there at that period. 8, 9 were there, 6, 7. Okay, anyways. So, the part A, it speaks about what is meant by villages, what is meant by rural. In this, to understand the villages and the rural, we also will be studying in detail something called as caste system. The most widely dealt topic in your paper 2 will be caste system. What is caste system? What is the contribution of G.S. Gure? What does Andre Bete speaks? What does Louis Dumont says? What is M.N. Srinivas? Is caste system only a division of occupation? No. So, village, societies, rural, caste, these are all one. And then, the second is, people who are staying in Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, they are called as urban. These societies are called as class societies. Villages are divided by caste system. Cities are divided by class system. Tribal, forest, these are ones. Another forms of divisions in which how India is divided on the basis of families. There are something called as northern families, Aryan families. There is something called southern families, Dravidian families. Then there is something called as Mongolite family system, the tribal family system. So here we will be dealing with something called as Indian kinship system. And the last topic, what we are having is the religion. So the section B is like Indian society. It has got some structures. This is how India has been divided. It has been divided urban, rural, tribal. It is divided on the basis of family system, religion, caste. So there are some stratifications are there. There are some structures are there. This is a structure of Indian society. We have got some topics within that. So the section B is talking about the B part. The C part is all about, if the section B is about the structure and how to understand, the section C explains how this structure is changing with time. So it talks about what are the different kind of social changes in Indian society. How India is changing. Post-independence, India has been changing with the help by creating some form of vision and the idea of development. When you started your UPSC preparation, in 1950s, there was a body that was created called as Planning Commission. What was Planning Commission all about? They will create some 5 years of plan. 2014, Planning Commission was replaced with Niti Aayog. So 15 points, 14, again 15, thank you so much. So 2015, Planning Commission was replaced with Niti Aayog. So what is this all about? It explains how an economic system is supposed to transform. How this planning should be created. It started with something called as mixed economic approach. Mixed economy is a mixture of capitalism and also with socialism. How did this progress? Then in 1991, a turning point was there. What was 1991 all about? It was all about LPG reforms. With LPG, we got cylinder. No? Okay, LPG is not about cylinder. It is about liberalization, privatization, globalization. So, the first part, among these social changes, it talks about vision and the idea of development, how the development has been processed. The second part, it speaks about is rural and agrarian transformation. See, the whole section C is about changes only, how the rural society has got changed. In the initial times, we are having some community developmental programs, rural developmental programs, post-independent schemes. The maximum amount of change came how? The rural society changed with something called as Green Revolution. You have seen this. How during the period of Indira Gandhi, Green Revolution has transformed the agrarian India. What was the contribution of who brought Green Revolution? He died no recently. Swaminathan. What are the problems which are there in the rural societies? So, rural problems. We'll be talking about migration, bonded labor, rural problems. So the part B speaks about rural and agrarian transformation, and the part C is all about urban and industrialization. See, take a look. Whatever things that we have studied over here, right? We are going to study that in a static manner. So the section B will be from the notes a lot. But the section C is not from your notes. Section C is mostly coming up from current affairs. It is all about dynamic nature. It's all about transformation, social changes. The section C is called as social changes. It keeps on changing with time. So whatever we study here from the books, section C must be prepared from your notes. Sorry, current affair notes. So urban and industrial transformation. Here we talk about what is the concept of evolution of industrialization. Here we talk about some urban transformation which took place. What is the concepts such as the problem of child labor? What is the concept of informal society? What is the concept of slums and deprivation? There are some minor topics that we are there. It is all about urban and industrialization, how urbanization is changing. Is it going in the right direction or not? The most important part that you are having in this is social movements. This is the most important topic that you are having in section C. What is this all about? How Indian society is changing. So in the agricultural side, we have got something called as peasant and farmers movement. And then there are some changes which are coming in the aspect of women movements. What is meant by women movements? What do you understand by ethnic, environmental, OBC, Dalit movements? So here we'll be talking about environmental, ethnic movements. So this complete unit, it is all about what is social movements, how are different types of social movements are there, what is social movements, what are new social movements. Social media is also creating new types of social movements. So how this transformation takes place. An important book written by Ghanshyam Shah. I would advise you to buy this book because many topics come. It is important for your essay preparation as well. And then the second last topic, something what we all are proud of. Thank you to the earlier generation. I was waiting when we will overpass China. From a long time, it was like a neck race. Finally, COVID came and we beat it. So population and what are its dynamics, we will be speaking about them. We will be talking about the aspects of national population policy. We will be speaking about what are family planning operations, what are the different schemes, what are sex ratios, how maternity issues are there, what are the reproductive issues, what is infant mortality, maternal mortality. So there are some miscellaneous topics that we are having in population and dynamics. And then comes this, the last part, which is called to be as challenges to social transformation. What this topic is all about? The topic says that you are an IAS officer in your district, you want to bring some change, but what are some hurdles that you are going to face? What are some challenges that you are going to face to bring social transformation? And some challenges that you are going to face is called as DIDR. Developmental induced displacement and rehabilitation. It says, I want to increase the height of the dam for my city. But increasing the height of the dam, what problems are you going to get? Can you just easily increase the height of a dam? What problems will you face? You need to vacate hundreds of villages around. You need to clear up the tribal forest areas. At one end, you want to bring the development to the city and the town, but on the other hand, you have to fight with the villages and the tribal people. Is this a true development? We have to discuss on that. So developmental induced displacements and rehabilitations, mining activity, hydroelectric projects, nuclear projects are going to face. So there are some current affair issues that we are going to discuss with DIDR. You want to bring development, the problem of patriarchy, women problems. You want to bring development, the problem of caste system, the problem of illiteracy and education, ethnic conflicts, caste conflicts are some challenges to social transformation. So, in your paper 2, first part is Introduction to the Indian Society. We talk about recent changes. The paper part B, it talks about social structure, how India is divided. There are 5 topics that you have in the social structure. There are 2 topics that you have in the part, and here you have got 7 topics in the section C. What these topics are, take a look at the UPSC syllabus. This is what we have discussed right now. These are all the minor topics. I will give you the PDF, or you can download the sociology syllabus online. I have just taken a screenshot and I have put it over here. This is exactly how the syllabus has been there, given by the UPSC. The first topic, sociology. What was the first topic? The history of sociology, where it begins. Sociology as the discipline. The second part, it speaks about theories. This speaks about history. The third part, it speaks about the practical part. So history, theories, what are the topics and what are the practical or the research method and analysis. And then comes the next part. What is sociological? Thinkers. Every thinker and what are the topics within that thinker. Karl Marx, Emile Durkheim, Weber, Parson, Merton, Mead. And their topics that you are having. Stratification and mobility. We have discussed the concepts, theories, dimensions, and then you have got social mobility. The unit 5, it's unit 6. Unit 6 is about work and economic life. Topics, different societies, formal, informal, labor, and the next unit, polity, religion, family is called as kinship system. And then last topic, what you are having is social changes in modern society. Your paper 2, Indian sociology. It has got 3 sections, A, B, and C. This is the A part. Introduction to the Indian society. We have got G.S. Ghure, Srinivas, A.R. Desai. And then impact of the colonial rule. What is the background of nationalism? What is cheese dosa all about? Modernization in Indian tradition, protest movements, social reform, and the topics which are there within the caste system, tribal societies, social classes, it is basically talking about urban India. Kinship, talking about family system, religion and society. This is what. The C part, it talks about social changes in modern India. Vision, what is the idea of mixed economy? What is the constitution and change? Education and change. Rural and agrarian transformation. Industrial and urbanization. The aspect of politics and society, social movements in modern India, population dynamics, challenges. I want all of you to go to upsc.gov.in, take out the UPSC Sociology syllabus, don't go any other website, properly with the PDF which is there, from there take a printout of these 2 pages, put it in the front. Every day you need to look at the syllabus and make it by heart. So this is what so looking at the, I told I'll be discussing 3 aspects. Although we don't have much time, I'll be wrapping up my class in 5 minutes. I'll discuss this the next session. But the first part, what we have discussed today is, what is sociology? It's a group of people and the institutions with certain norms, rules, and regulations. Sociology is a scientific understanding of the society. Paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is what? Fundamentals of sociology, world view, global view. Paper 2 is what? Indian view, Indian sociology. And why? What are some of the reasons why sociology has been preferred? So, one of the most famous factor that if you take a look, sociology does not have a long history. It has been emerged only around 150 years at the world view. It has been introduced 75 years at the Indian. So there is not much subject matter to deal with. So in last 100, 150 years, the subject is still in maturation phases. So it has relatively got a short syllabus. Compared to other, you are basically studying a subject at BA level. Some topics are coming also from the MA level. So this particular subject has got a shorter syllabus. Another popular reason that what we are having is this subject has got a very strong overlap. If you look at unit 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it overlaps with economy, polity, and your other GS areas. So it has got some good overlap as well. If you take a look at Indian society, your GS paper 1, you don't have to study that paper at all if you're studying paper 2. Basically, Indian society is 30-40% of your paper 2. So a strong overlap. It's a combination of clusters. It has got a dependency on general studies. The history speaks. We almost get to see that there are lots of toppers and high scores have been given. Sociology is considered to be as a scoring subject. And what is the reason why people coming from different backgrounds, why they score well in sociology, is because of something called as opinion freedom. Can you tell me what is the meaning of this word opinion freedom? You can write it in your own way, what you feel about your own society. You can create, for example, if I ask you what is in geography, there is something called as there's something, no? Alfred Wegener gave a continental drift theories there. In geography, there is a theory called as continental drift theory. Do you know what is continental drift theory? If you know, You will have to exactly explain what did Alfred Wegener say about that theory, how all continents will mix, will create like a puzzle. If you know a concept in a subject of geography or history, it means you know it. If you don't know, you cannot write some blabber like how you did in engineering days. But in sociology, whatever concepts that you have been dealt, you can create your own opinions on that. You can write your own perspectives. Lots of concepts are having opinion freedom. Beyond thinkers, beyond unit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all those questions will have opinion freedoms. Another important aspect is something called as digital assessment. It's a popular subject. Therefore, lots of resources are there on YouTube. You're going to have lots of resources on Telegram channels. Lots of test series are there which are being conducted, present on online. So here, material assessment, etc., all those things that will help you in your preparation. So you need to select from a popular subject so that you get good number of materials. And the last part is you have lots of mentors and seniors around you who have taken that subject. So mentorships, seniors guidance will play an important role because you will be studying the subject for 1 year, 2 years. After that, you will not be studying a subject. All you want is, I will write an answer. Somebody should evaluate my answer now. So that can only be done if you have got some seniors around you, if you have got some guidance from the mentors. So some of the reasons why sociology is popular, because it has got a shorter syllabus. We will be taking roughly around 3.5 to 4.5 months to complete this paper. It has got an overlap with your GS preparation, especially unit 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, some parts of unit 2. Unit 1, 2, 3, 4 has got no overlap. Opinion freedom, you can express yourself. Accessible digital platforms are there. Mentorship and guidance are there. How to study this? What are the books? What are the resources? I will speak in my tomorrow's class, not in today's class. Okay? So this is what we have dealt. We have dealt with what is sociology. It's a combinations of some clusters and these institutions. It is divided into two parts, paper 1 and paper 2. There are some reasons why I have discussed some UPSC reasons to cover sociology. I also want to discuss some non-UPSC reasons. I believe this is more important apart from UPSC factors. How in other areas apart from UPSC, sociology will play a very important role. How you can study this subject with a cup of tea. How you can study this subject while watching a movie. So how to cover this? What are the books which are required? I will deal with that. So in tomorrow's class, I will be taking some questions from your last year's paper, 2023. I will be discussing how to deal those questions, how the questions will actually look in the examination, how to deal with them, from where you have to study, how you are supposed to think. So tomorrow's class will be about some reasons, what are the sources to cover, and some previous year questions. In day after tomorrow's class, I will be discussing Unit 4, Karl Marx, and some of its topics. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day.